Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Have you ever woke up one day and asked yourself, is it too late? Is it too late to chase your dreams, to pursue that goal, to become who you were meant to become? I don't think the question really is it too late? The question is, what will you do with the time you have remaining? This question hit straight to the heart because you see this guy right here? He was someone that didn't feel like he had all the time in the world because honestly, he didn't think he was gonna make it past 25. He was so stuck in survival mode that he didn't have the luxury to plan his life, what his life was going to look like in his 40s, in his 50s. But surprisingly, he woke up one morning and he was 50 years old. And he looked behind him and said, man, where did time go? Where did time go? And you know, they say that comparison is a thief of joy. And I did that. I looked at other people in my age group and seen all that they had accomplished, all the toys they had, all the luxuries they were enjoying. And I looked at my life and said, wow, is it too late? Is it too late? And it's a serious question to ponder. I mean, I think it's the ultimate question when you get down to it. I mean, what do you do when you've squandered your young adult life? And regardless of what your young adult life looked like, I mean, I could lay back on all the excuses in the world and say, well, you don't understand my childhood. It was plagued with madness and treachery and ruthlessness and drama and trauma and all the other toxic things that come with the person that was engulfed in that lifestyle. You know, ultimately, you're responsible for your own conduct. Regardless of what life threw at you, you're responsible for how you respond to that life. Whether you believe you were gonna make it past 25 or not, the fact is, I'm here now. And you know, looking back, maybe it was just laziness on my part to not even bother myself with the question, what is my life gonna look like at 40, at 50? How am I gonna support myself? If I have a family, how am I gonna support them, you know? Like, I just didn't want to be bothered with that question. And I was consumed with survival, you know. That played a major factor in my life at that time, but I've had ample amount of time after that to reflect, to build, to look forward and plan, and I didn't. A lot of partying, a lot of poor decisions, a lot of nonsense, time wasting, connecting with the wrong people, having the wrong set of goals in life, and having these unrealistic expectations of society and culture and myself. And then you wake up one day and you're 50 and you look behind you and you see nothing but poor choices and life decisions. And what do? Well, you got to get up. First of all, you got to get up. You retrace your steps and you pick up the pieces. Now, you can't go back and change your past. That's what built you. But what you can do is mine the gold out of your life experiences. There's things that you've picked up, there's things that you've learned, in those experiences that you could apply to your life today. And you see, people that never experienced that type of life, that hardship, the trenches, the drama, the violence, they can't relate to that. See, they don't have that experience to draw from. They have a good life. They've made good decisions. Maybe they had a better foundation to launch from, but people like you and I, maybe we didn't have that foundation. Maybe we are the foundation. We are that hinge on that door that's going to open new opportunities for our families. And we have these experiences, we have these gut checks, if you will, in our life story that can carry us through the hard times of today. So when this young man, the picture that I showed you, obviously is me, when he woke up is when he encountered a wandering Palestinian Jew named Jesus. Oh yeah, yep. He reached out to a hand bigger than his and found Jesus, man. And Jesus woke him up. He says, "What are you doing?" Grabbed me by the shoulders. Said, "Come on, man. I got something better for you. I got something better for you. And it's not too late." But I said, look around, look at all these people. You know, we have these narratives that play out in our minds, and it's played out in the drama of life every day. People think when you're at a certain age, you should reach specific benchmarks in life where, you know, when you're 30, you should have this in order. And when you're 40, you should have this in order. And when you're 50, you should have this in order. And, you know, all these different benchmarks, all these different points in life that should be reached by the time you're a specific age. But says who? You're on your own timeline. You're on your own timeline. This is your life, your story. And the fact is, if I got anything sooner than what I did, I'd probably lose it anyway because I wasn't equipped to keep it. Yeah, I wasn't equipped to keep it. I would have squandered it. I wouldn't have valued it. You know, there's this lyric in this song I was sharing with my son the other day, and it said, "Picking up the pieces of my broken life, it isn't an easy sight to see." And it's not. It's not. You know, I'm not as far along in my career as I should be. Every person that I've worked under were younger than me. I had to take instruction and criticism from people that were my son's age. And it takes a tremendous amount of humility. It takes a tremendous amount of humility, but that's just what it is, because in order for me to get to where I need to be, I need to exercise humility. I need to recognize that I'm playing catch up. I'm playing catch up. You see, while all these people are out here making the right decisions, going to school, going to trade school, going to trainings, receiving instructions, making their mistakes early in life, I was out there squandering my life. I was acting a fool, wasting time, chasing frivolous things. But now that I'm on an even playing field with the people my age, they're experiencing a relative amount of success monetarily. Internally, I think I'm there. I got my priorities straight. I got some life wisdom, some life lessons, some life experience behind me now. But monetarily, materially, maybe I'm a little behind. Man, that's okay. Oh yeah, no, that's okay, man. Because as I was in the scriptures, I came across this scripture in Joel, man. It's a powerful scripture that I wanted to share with you guys, and this is the whole purpose behind this video. It says, "I will restore the years the locusts have eaten." And this is the time when Israel was in rebellion and they were not following the instructions and breaking the covenant of God, and they suffered because of it. The locusts came and just devoured their land. Every green thing they eat, I mean the crops and what the cattle ate, everything, they decimated the land. And when they fell on their faces and repented, when they repented, God said, I will restore the years the locusts have eaten. If you notice, God said he wasn't going to restore the crops. He said he was going to restore the years the locusts have eaten. Because time is gone, man. Your time is lived, but it's what built you. It's what constructed you. All your life experiences, your time is what got you to where you're at today. Some of us used it wisely and some of us didn't. But there's always this thread of grace woven throughout the story of the people who look to God. And I happen to be one of those people, man. Oh yeah, I have to. I have to. And I would hope that you could look at your life and recognize God's thread of grace that has been woven throughout your life. There's things that you've made it out of that you shouldn't. There's things that should have killed you a long time ago. There's things that you've escaped and you've chalked it up to chance, but in reality, God's fingerprints were all over it. So God said, I will restore the years the locusts have eaten. And I held on to that because I'm in a place now where I need God to restore those years, man. Those years that I've lived in rebellion, those years that I lived in anger, those years that I lived blaming other people, blaming society, blaming culture, blaming law enforcement, blaming whoever was within grasp. I was blaming them. Why'd you do that? It's because of him. It's because of her. It's because of this. It's because of that. But ultimately, it was because of me. Oh yeah. Yeah. Nobody forced me to do nothing. I chose to do it myself. But once I became introduced to Yeshua, oh yeah, let that resonate a little bit. Let that name resonate just a little bit. Yeshua. When he brought me into the fold, when he brought me into his family, there were some promises that I was privy to. And the one I'm sharing with you today is bringing me a tremendous amount of hope. A tremendous amount of hope, man. God said, I will restore the years the locusts have eaten. And I take that to say that God, even though that I squandered my young adult life, my childhood, I didn't plan, I didn't prepare for the future. God says, now that you've fallen on your face and repented and changed your ways, changed your way of thinking, I am going to restore those years the locusts have eaten. All those years of drinking and partying and doing ignorant things. God says, I'm going to restore those to you. Now, what that looks like, I don't know. I'm in the process. Like I mentioned last video, I'm in the process, man. I'm in the process. If you're in the process, hit that like, put a comment. Let me know, hey, I'm in the process. I'm under construction. You know, I look at some of these influencers my age and they're yoked up, you know, they're all jacked and they're doing these little videos in their sports cars and they're talking about follow these steps and you're going to be an alpha male and you're going to be able to have the most beautiful women and the most beautiful homes and luxury cars. And, you know, that's their track, man. That's their storyline. Maybe that's what their time, what their experiences have led them up to. Maybe that's what they place importance on. Not me. Nah, man. I'm here doing real life with you guys. We're here trying to figure it out. But God said, I will restore the years the locusts have stolen, have eaten. And I'm on the cusp of something here, man. I've only been sober for 3 years. And in the midst of that 3 years, my life has transformed and elevated beyond my imagination. And I'm nowhere near finished yet. Nowhere near finished yet. So my message is, it's not too late. It's not too late. But you got to get on your face. You got to seek the one that can restore the years that the locusts have eaten. You look at George Foreman, man. I'm a huge boxing fan by now. You guys know that. George Foreman came back to boxing after a 10-year hiatus, man. And all he wanted to do was raise money for his George Foreman Community Center. That was it. And so he said, hey, what do I have? Remember that video about Moses that I posted a while back? What do you have in your hands? Moses says a staff, and he used it to free his people. Well, when Foreman was probably in prayer, I don't know, this is speculation, but what if he was seeking God and said, I need money for my community center? And God says, what do you have in your hands? He said, I got these, man. He said, well, put them to use. At 38, 39 years old, he makes his way back into the ring and starts letting people have it. He starts just caking fools, you know what I mean? He's starting to put hands on all these heavyweight contenders. Before you know it, he's in a championship bout with Michael Moore, and before the fight, he told Jim Lampley how he was gonna knock him out and how it was gonna happen. And when George Foreman, I think it was in 1994, knocked out Michael Moore, the only thing Jim Lampley could say, who's a renowned boxing commentator, the only thing he can say after George Foreman knocked out Michael Moore was, it happened. It happened. And it's a beautiful thing, man. And I can't wait till that moment in my life where all the naysayers, where the people that doubted me, doubted the God in me, I'm gonna knock something out, man. I'm gonna achieve something great. And it ain't gonna be for my community center, it's gonna be for my wife, my children, my family. And maybe God will be up there telling the angels, hey, look, it happened. It happened, man. And it could happen for you. It could happen for you, man, no doubt. So it's not too late. It's not a question about is it too late? It's a question about what are you gonna do with the time you have left? It ain't too late to chase that goal. It ain't too late to achieve that dream. It ain't too late to become the person you were meant to become. Hey, I appreciate you joining me this afternoon, man. It's a beautiful day out here in nature. I love doing these videos out here in nature. Sometimes I do them in my house when I can't get out, but I love being out in the elements, amongst the trees, the birds, the squirrels, people walking around. There's life here, it's vitality. But in any event, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you feel inclined to do so. And I'll be back next week with another video to inspire, to encourage, to motivate, and to let you know, in spite of what culture, society, expectations may say, it's not too late. See you on the next one.
Thank you for joining us. We hope today's episode has sparked your curiosity and offered you new insights into the human experience. If you enjoyed the episode, please consider subscribing and sharing it with others who might find value in our content. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to leave a comment and a thumbs up. Until next time, keep exploring, reflecting, and finding meaning in your own unique journey. Safe travels, and we'll see you on the next episode.